The first time the message appeared, I assumed someone was playing a prank. If asked to pick, I always said you would come first. He would be second. You know that, right? Her name was at the top of the screen, her sentences, her tone reduced to text. My wife, the one who once declared there was no life without me, had just delivered proof otherwise. She had confirmed there existed a world where I stood behind another man. My chest tightened. I read the words again, more deliberately this time, like rereading the small print on a prescription to make sure I hadn't missed a warning. There was no mistake, she had written he comes second. Which, by implication, meant I was not first. For a few moments the room filled with a silence so thick it felt like fog, the kind that blurs sight and settles in your lungs, making it hard to breathe. That night I sat on the edge of our bed, watching her curled figure beneath the covers. Her breathing was even, almost peaceful. I wanted to wake her, to demand explanations, but my throat would not cooperate. Instead I looked at the familiar arc of her shoulder, the way her hair fanned across the pillow. What used to feel like home now appeared like a stranger hiding in a familiar shell. The warnings had been there, small and scattered like shards of glass in the grass. The late nights she dismissed as extra hours at work. The phone faced down on the table. Her laughter, once loud and carefree with me, had grown guarded, as if she were reserving it for someone else. Love, the truest kind, makes you a terrible investigator. You do not collect evidence, you bury it. The next morning I probed gently, testing the surface. Rough night? I asked over coffee, trying to sound casual. She yawned and rubbed her temple. Yeah, work's exhausting. I just need to catch up on sleep. Her eyes never met mine. I watched the faint smile at her lips, a smile that wasn't meant for me. Anyone keeping you company during those long hours? I asked. She laughed too quickly. What do you mean? Nothing. Just curious. Her look sharpened, cutting. You're imagining things. But were they in my head, or carefully arranged illusions on her part? By evening I could not tolerate the silence inside my head. I opened her laptop, the one she'd left logged in, as if dared me to look. There were dozens of emails, some strictly work-related, others not. I miss how you challenge me. He doesn't understand me like you do. You're still my safe place. He's second. The word etched itself into me, twisting like a knife each time I read it. I did not erupt in anger. I did not smash anything. Instead I felt empty, as if my bones had turned to dust. I waited 3 days before confronting her. Not because I was patient, but because I wanted to see if she would own up to it first. She never did. We were eating dinner when I asked softly, "Do you love him?" The fork froze halfway to her mouth. Her eyes went wide, then narrowed. What are you talking about? I leaned forward. Don't pretend. I've seen the emails. You put me second. The room lost its air. She placed the fork down as though any sudden motion might cause the truth between us to explode. It's not what you think, she whispered at last. Then explain it, I demanded. Her lips trembled. He makes me feel seen. You've been distant. We've been distant. I didn't mean for it to happen. My laugh was hollow and bitter. So you pushed me into his arms. Her eyes filled with tears. I love you, but with him it's different. It's easier. The word different rang in my head like a bell. Apparently love could be quantified, compared, ranked, and I was the inferior choice. For a week we lived like apparitions. She moved through the house wearing quiet apologies in her eyes, while her phone still lit up at odd hours. I pretended not to notice how her fingers lingered over the screen, how her smile softened at messages meant to be hidden. Inside me something shifted. Not anger yet. Colder, perhaps resignation. On Friday I came home early. Her car was in the driveway. Music drifted from the living room, and then a man's laugh. I did not storm the house, did not batter down the door. I stood outside and listened. Her voice floated out, lighter than I had heard in months. She laughed with him, a sound I had once believed belonged only to me. In that instant I understood I had already lost. Not because she had chosen him, but because she had made me part of a contest I had never agreed to enter. That night, while she slept, I packed a bag. Only necessities: clothes, important papers, my grandfather's watch. I left a note, not angry, not pleading, simply final. You said I was second. I won't compete for first. Love should never be a contest. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. Live with your choice. I'll live with mine. I placed it on her nightstand, next to the phone that had taken her away. Leaving was not theatrical. No slammed doors, no shouting, just the soft sound of my footsteps fading along the hallway, the click of the front door, and the strange weight of freedom braided with grief. Outside it was still dark, but within that darkness there was clarity. She had ranked me second. So I removed myself from the equation, not because my love had vanished, but because finally I chose to love myself.